All right, all right, all right. Let me make sure that the person's not on. That'll be, I think, chilled. Go. Right. Morning, good morning. Right. This morning, the first thing we are going to be doing is getting Unreal Engine set up. We are going to look at making a computer game without any coding involved. We're going to use a blueprint system that's built by Unreal Engine. Take the functionality you want to achieve and you drop it into place and you just connect the blocks. Using this system, anybody should be able to make it. Been making one for the last couple of years and 100% self-taught. You can find anything you need on the internet, whether it be YouTube or Epic Knowledge Base. And this season, they just released Unreal 4.26, which is using to make a game. We are going to make a single-player game, which takes a different setup approach than a multiplayer game in certain areas. Also a little simpler. Work on multiplayer games in a more advanced class. But here, we are going to stick with single-player interactive. Might look at incorporating Twitch into that single instance running on the streamer machine. But I haven't made a decision on whether to integrate the game yet or not. So, one of the first things that we're going to need to do is acquire our tool. And in acquiring our tool, we will use the Epic Launcher. Now, you might have the Epic Launcher if you have certain games, but you will need an Epic account and the Epic Launcher to follow along with this class and download it. I already have the Epic Launcher installed, but for the sake of those who don't, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get that set up and installed. It has a little black icon down here in the bottom right. The easiest way to get it is just to go to epicgames.com, download the launcher. Download the launcher, have your install file. This install file doesn't look too big. Run it. Once the install runs, you should now have your Unreal Engine or your Epic icon in the bottom right hand corner. You can also get to the Epic Launcher by pressing the Start Windows key, typing in Epic there. Now, once the Epic Launcher loads, you'll notice there are different sections. Epic started distributing games through their system. Like Grand Theft Auto, if you remember, they released that for free via the Epic Launcher. So, we are going to be focusing on two different areas. Got our home, got your store, library, and Unreal Engine. We'll be focusing on Unreal Engine. And there are two main areas that we will be using in Unreal Engine. We'll be using our Launcher tab, and we will also be using Marketplace. Now, the marketplace is where you can go acquire content you can use for your game. For example, you don't want to spend the hours making a choppable tree. Get it. You want to buy a character pack? You can do it. Don't want to make vehicles? You can get vehicles too. Some things are free, some things will cost money. These developers create their content and post it for you to use in your game. Real nice thing is, every month they have a new set of material they release for free. We're actually going to, while we're here, add some effects, add some vehicles, and get some content. See how you yourself can acquire this content for your game. Here, this content's free, but there are a lot of valuable and useful tools out there that you can acquire for an adequate cost. I, for example, have made a couple acquisitions in my game that have really helped it along, that I was able to dissect and take this person's work apart and figure out how it works. Okay, let's see if there are any other free packs that we would like this month real quick. Not sure what CCM is. Oh, capture somebody's walking? That looks cool. I don't have to download and install these now. I'm literally going to add them, check out. It's going to be free, and then they'll be mine forever. It's great. We'll get this epic content. Let's actually make this a little bigger. Okay. I don't know if I need noise. City of Brass enemies. That looks cool. Yeah, I don't need it for the game I'm making now. Light generator. Oh, that looks cool. That's a good rating. Nice. Yeah, we're adding this, dude. Heard some issues about Steam integration. Oh, that looks cool. I don't know what it does, but that looks dope. Sculptures. Alright. So we found 14 things that we might be able to use for this game or future games. Some of these would cost us money. but now we don't have to spend money. Great. Checkout. 00000. I pay $0 instead of 100. Yes, sir. Thank you. Right. Now, I'm assuming that your Unreal Engine launcher is downloaded, installed, and you have your icon, and you can do this as well. You can view your library of current projects right here. I have not started any projects in 4.26 yet. This will be the first, so you can see the other versions of the projects. And then you can come down below and see all of your modules. You can create a project based off of them. You can install plugins to the engine, or you can add them directly to projects. And then the main Unreal Engine tab is more news oriented. There's still some neat stuff that shows up on it. We're going to go to our library tab. We're going to create a new project. We've also launched it up here. We have 4.26.21, which is the latest version. So what you will do is you will click this little plus button. You will pick your version of the engine and you will hit install. Now we do not want to install with 4.25, so I am going to have you install 4.26.1. Then click on install. And once that finishes installing, you should have Unreal Engine on your computer. This part will take a couple minutes, well, more than a couple minutes. It could take over 10-15. So we aren't going to hold off that long. We are going to resume and assume that you have got that successfully installed 15-20 minutes later, and we are ready to load Unreal Engine and open our first project. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel this and launch Unreal Engine. Once you have Unreal Engine installed, you can launch it as well, and you should be at the same point. Pretty sure I hit launch. Let's try one more time. Oh. Unreal Engine not even gonna launch? Boy, that's fabulous. I picked a great one. Oh, here it is. Now, when your Unreal Engine is loading, there are points like 39%, 45% where it's achieving key tasks. And sometimes when you open up projects for the first time or Unreal for the first time, it will sit there on 39% or 45% for 10-15 minutes. Depends on how powerful your computer is. However, you see that stuck at 39 or 45%, just wait. Just wait. Even if it ends up taking 30 minutes, there's certain points in the process where it'll compile shaders and do other things that take a while to run. Cancel it, you're just going to have to wait again next time. Okay. An important aspect of making your game is to have an idea of what you want to do. We are going to create an outline of our game and what it's going to entail. So, actually, let's do this. Let's center. Which I think is already a game name that's taken. Alright, so the type of game we're going to try and make over the next 2 or 3 months is going to be like an arcade type business simulator. Just like all those other tycoon games, you will build up your business, you will bring people in, you will acquire products, manage your facilities, and the idea I have in mind is first person going through your arcade shop to not only install your own arcade games and acquire them, but the guy who runs this arcade shop is going to be a developer like Kevin Flynn in Tron, right? So he might have his arcade shop. He can make his own games because he's cool. So in addition to the arcade simulator, you building an arcade or game center, even if you add go-karts and all that stuff, right? You can design this game your own arcade box, and you can drop and drag pieces to the arcade machine, make your own little controller game play. So not only can you buy like Centipede and all this stuff for your arcade business, you can actually buy a blank box and create your own arcade game within the game. So that's kind of where we're going. There will be a starting level where you have your first building and you build your first shop, and then there will be a bunch of different properties. Let's start to flesh that out. Okay. Actually, let's go with this one here. So, first thing we gotta deal with here is the plot of the game. Let's see. No. Opens. Alright. Game business. We have acquired property. Right, our initial acquired property will allow for insertion. Other machines are acquired. A marketplace and arcade. Prices. Arcade devices. The data can acquire, so the owner create their own arcade game for deployment. Want it to be first person. We want the owner to be able to walk through and play arcade. So we got that. Okay. Let's see. Game levels. We'll need the main menu. Property acquisition. Where we go and pick what buildings we want and see how they're doing and things like that. Will be one level for each acquirer. It's too early for candy. I can get you some yogurt if you want. It's too early for candy. I can get you some yogurt. Okay. Let's see. I didn't think I had a question. Alright, and then for one level for each building, our property acquisition status map. Main menu. Need a transition level. So when we're going between levels, what are the people see? In Unreal Engine, there's always a level loaded. So even when you're switching between, it's putting you in a level while it's switching. Then, I think the main menu level is what people are going to see when they get in. And where they'll pick to play the game, load, or do whatever they need. Once the game's loaded, there'll be main menu status map of your property and what's going on. Once you exit that main level, pick your property. It's going to load a new level, which will be building. We'll have a level for each of the different buildings. Transition between those. And then when you exit the building levels, it's going to go back to status map. So this game should have 4 levels, right? And then a lot of the views, what the player sees, widgets, if you will. A widget is a display that's brought up on your screen like an overlay or a graphic that imposes over the game. So, for example, when we load our main menu and it has everything in there, the actual menu itself that people see is a widget. Menu, map, arcade box. So when someone clicks on an arcade box and they go to play it, that view that comes up, that's what we're talking about here. Marketplace. Pinball. Table game. Player info. You want to look at yourself and your stats. It's probably good. We can always add more widgets, and there will be more than we have here. I'm just going for our main outline. So, plot of the game. Next, let's do a rough outline of the gameplay. Game loads. Intro received. Loads. Intro received. And all right. See. I'm getting it right now. Hold on one second. First, I thought you always read one first. All right. Only one property available to start. Property will load with 3 arcade machines. There's more. Alright, so I'm going to go under your property. See, Right, enter. Happiness level. Off snacks. And then what they think of the cleanliness. Oh, we should also have an. Well, I guess happiness is kind of like an excitement. First person walk through. Oh no. Customer. Fractions. Alright. I have a rough outline of how things are going to go. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, now that we have our outline, we will open Unreal Engine. I'm assuming that you have downloaded and got that installed now, and that it has finally opened up. And when Unreal Engine opens up and gets past its 39 and 45% stages, it's all the way up there, you'll see this new window. You will not have existing projects since you've never created a project before. We want to create a project. We're going to go down the new project category and select game. Now you notice there are going to be a few different templates here. So depending on what kind of game you decide to make, you also might want to pick one of these different interaction modes. For example, I'm going to pick first person. Not only will I pick first person, it's going to start me in a room with walls and give us an area we can resize and make into our first building. Pretty easy. So, you can either create the same type of game I'm creating and mix it up a little. You can pick your own game, your own idea. It's just that the game I'm trying to make is going to take about 2 or 3 months, and the idea is to pick something fairly simple so that we're not making a game over 2 years in this class. This is more an intro level type class. We're going to get that basic game. So whether you want to make a game like this arcade game where you have your own building, maybe a different type of shop, maybe a pet shop, I don't know. And the one we're going to go with, whether you do a pet shop, arcade, you can do a dry cleaner if you want. I don't know how exciting dry cleaning tycoon would be, but we're going to go first person game. Some things to bear in mind if you want to do a game with vehicles. I don't think you'll be able to learn everything from scratch and complete that game in 2 or 3 months. But I am willing to try and help out, teach you. Good luck. Once again, also, bear in mind, this is a class based off single-player games. This is not a multiplayer game, which is done differently. Coding is done differently. For creating these actions, you have to consider whether the game is running on the server, the network client, or a combination of the two when you're doing stuff. So it's a more advanced topic and one we'll get into. Okay. Well, the first things you're going to see is blueprint. We want to keep this here. We are not going to be using code. I am going to teach you how to make a game without being a coder. Next thing you want to do is pick what type of device you're going to release the game to. I'm going to be testing this on my computer, and I'm going to pick a desktop game. Here, you can select the graphic quality from the start. For some of my games, I do maximum quality. I'm making a game that involves a wildfire, but here, you're going to go scalable. You want to include starter content. Starter content doesn't have that much data. It's not taking up a lot of room, but it'll give you a bunch of materials and effects you can use with your game for free without having to import. Leave that on. We're going to leave ray tracing disabled right now. Alright, we're going to call this, what do we want to call our project? We'll just call it Arcade for right now. Call it Arcade Titan. Why not? Alright, we'll let that get up. Let's see. Okay, we do have display capture. Alright, here we go. Now, if you'll notice, we have a viewport here that will show us our room and our level. Go. This camera, where our first person view is, and you see that it's got the different components of what you'll see in front of it right here. We have a file browser that will allow us at the bottom to go through all the content we create. This is where we will organize our data. There are different types of actors you can place into the environment. Then we have our detail pane on the left, where when we're selecting things, we'll get our details and everything we can edit. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this room, we're going to turn it into a building. And what we're also going to do is make that building, we'll put the roof on at the end so we can see inside easily, and we'll get the lighting later. We won't finish the entire building today. This will be one of the first things we start next week. But we are going to start that today. So your Unreal Engine should have loaded now. If you selected first person template, you should be in the same room. We should be ready to design our shop or whatever type of game we want to design. What I am going to do is I'm going to save. And now that my project is created, I'm actually going to close out. I'm going to go to Unreal Engine, and I'm going to see if any of these packs we have might be needed for our game. Props might be good, but not yet. We don't need vehicles in our building. I don't think so. I don't see anything that really has to be added. So, we've closed our project, and now you're like, well, how do I get back in? I realized we didn't download anything and put it in, like add the project from the library. Okay, your game might have that. If you download a bunch of that free content, and you're like, oh man, my game involves cool particle effects like an explosion. You might want to take that hack and slash effects or one other effect thing that you haven't added to your project. But now, once you have your Unreal Engine library back open, you should see your Unreal Engine version up here, and you'll only have one project. It should be right here under My Projects. You should be able to double click it, and it'll open the engine back up. And you can find it there. Also, go to your folder where you saved it and double click this View Project file to open up the launcher. Go. You have two different ways you can get to your project. You can get to it through the file folder directly or the Epic Launcher. The Epic Launcher is needed for installing Unreal Engine and accessing the marketplace, so it's recommended that you keep the Epic Launcher installed on your system during the duration of development. Okay. So, I am going to take a quick bio break. If you want to take 5 or 10 to step up, stretch, walk around, now's a good time to do it. I will be back in just a moment once my coffee's filled. Thank you very much. Alright. Let's go ahead and start clearing selecting these and deleting these, cleaning up below the clutter. See how big we are compared to this. Okay. I mean, this building size looks okay. I think we should make it smaller for someone's first arcade shop. We'll reduce the height of this and make it a shelf and move this over. Alright. So, let's say that you have your shop open and you actually want to keep one of these counters or something else in here to use. How do you resize this to a value of your choosing? Right now I can move it up, move it down, left, right, forwards, back. Notice how lighting doesn't change though? We'll have to rebuild that later. But right now, we're going to put it back where it was. And if you look up here in the top right hand corner, there are some different icons, and we're going to use these icons to achieve our goal. We can move objects, we can rotate objects, and we can resize objects. What we are going to do is we are going to make it a little smaller. And then we're going to lower it back up in the top right, and we're going to see if this is a good size for a counter. Looks a little too tall for a counter. It looks like I need to go down about another third. Right? Yeah. Alright, let's move this down. About right. Really big shelf though, so we're gonna now I'm going to duplicate this so I get an object with the exact same height, width, and dimensions. Why didn't I just say dimensions? Rotate. Alright. I'll put that there, and I'm going to rebuild lighting to make this kind of ugly effect go away. If you come to your build menu up top, there's a drop down arrow, you can go to lighting only. Alright, there we go. And see? Oh, do I have a gap here? No, I don't. Okay. This will be our counter area. We'll probably make a restroom back here. Now, if you notice, it increases the top part and the bottom. We're only getting a unisex bathroom. Small building. First tenancy. Okay. Then I'm going to hit the build button and clear out the lighting. Oh, come on. Alright, apparently you need to do build lighting only. Forgot about that. So we'll add a door here. We'll add a door to the side up here. Probably end up shrinking the room. Alright. Okay. So, we've got our basic design of our first building done. We will create some areas that will be empty, but they'll be marked with boxes so that people can know where you can buy and place machines. Okay. Yeah, I think this will work. So what we've done is we have gone through and taken Unreal Engine. We got the launcher installed in our system. You've hopefully signed up for an Epic account. Installed Unreal Engine, launched Unreal Engine, created our project with a first-person template. We've created our outline for the game, and we've also created a basis for this first building that the arcade shop will be. So we're going to save it right here, and we'll pick up next week with the creation of the zones for the building and start working on the gameplay mechanics. Appreciate y'all coming out next weekend.